If you've ever booked a short-term rental, you most likely come across smart locks like these, which are popular in the US and Europe. Singaporean startup Igloo Company is among several players in this market that have set up a manufacturing base in China.
China is very well known for the hardware product development. And so I think over here we established this as a center of the engineering excellence where R&D and mostly will be based out of this place, just so that we can continue to leverage on the talents and the maturity of the supply chain.
But it's fast becoming tricky.
We do have a core IP where this core IP relies on specific chipsets that we want to use in the product development. We intentionally choose the chipset not be China-based because of the ongoing US tariff issue. And doing so will ensure that all this can be easily replicated, and more importantly, it helps us to diversify and do the manufacturing in overseas.
US slapped a 100% tariff rate on Chinese electric vehicles and 50% on Chinese semiconductors, among a slew of hikes. The ongoing trade war that started back in 2018 has since spanned 2 administrations and looks set to bleed well into the next. The US has long accused China of unfair trade practices. It's been a hot topic in the upcoming US presidential polls.
They may not see eye to eye on a wide spectrum of policies, but when it comes to China, both US presidential candidates believe that tariffs are necessary to protect the US economy. So the question isn't whether there will be more tariffs in the next administration. The question is how much more. And even companies that are not currently affected are starting to get worried.
A survey by NGO The Conference Board found that 55% of China-based CEOs of mostly US and European MNCs think US and China relations will worsen over the next 3 years. The same survey found that 58% expect investments or operations to shift away from China to India in the next 2 years. Igloo, for one, has decided to branch out part of its operations to Vietnam.
Most of the partners, they actually also serving the US market. So they also share the same sentiment because of ongoing tariff issues, tension between these 2 countries. In the near future, this issue will not be resolved anytime soon. When they start to shift the operations, we tap along with their factory move to the Vietnam.
Igloo's local partner in Huizhou, an industrial city in Guangdong, has assembled their smart locks for over 2 years. The province has been hit by a slew of factory closures in recent years. The company is counting on its diverse customer base to defy the odds.
那么我们公司40%是去美国的。那么美国这个公司跟我们合作了20多年了，合作非常深度合作的一个公司了，那就谁也离不开谁，不管谁去当总统，影响不大。我们这个工厂20多年了，那么我们一定有一定的企业文化，也有很稳定的一个客户，那么客户不只是美国嘛，我刚说的日本我们也有，欧洲、北欧、西欧都有，所以说这点不是我们担心的。
Mr. Liu is training his workers to handle new tech like AI in the assembly process. He believes it's one way to stay relevant as China shifts gears to advanced manufacturing.
Although we're seeing a slowdown of foreign investments into China, all of the companies, all of the CEOs I talk to don't want to exit the market. What they want is to protect the access to the China market while also trying to increase the resilience of their global operations. And over 70% of them told us that they are actually investing more in China for China localization. The Chinese economy itself has, over the past decades, moved up the value chain and now actually provides a very viable alternative to these companies to continue not only producing, but also creating, designing and innovating here in China.
For Igloo, having spent years plugged into a mature supply chain in China, the company still plans to base most of its operations here.
Supply chain landscape usually takes years to build up to its quality and also maturity. So I think we still continue to balance by tapping the China resources as well as to continue manufacture our product overseas.
China's strategy to go big on tech is a double-edged sword. Although it builds domestic resilience, it also leaves the country vulnerable to tariffs.
If we look at the next decade of economic growth, a lot of it will depend on technological innovation. It is not surprising that technology is becoming one of the factors of tension in the geopolitical landscape, because in many ways, it will define the power of a given country. So what we're seeing right now is that those key technologies that would impact the economic power of an economy are being the subject of some of these restrictions.
The question is, how far would the new U.S. administration go in squeezing China, and can companies continue to withstand the pressure? Deborah Wong, CNA, Shenzhen.